What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today we are finally going to be exploring the wonderful map DLC of Missouri. For those of you guys that may remember, I am from the Springfield, Missouri area, specifically a small little city right about here named Clever with a population of like 8,000 people or something less than that. But anyways, I always claim Springfield because it's the biggest city. So today we're going to explore the Missouri map, and I'm going to tell you whether or not I like the DLC, if it's worth it. As you guys may remember, I was very excited for them to finally release it because this is where I am from. I no longer live in Missouri now, of course. But anyways, let's jump right into it. Also, a little sneak peek at an upcoming video. I do have a nice little tow truck here. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff with that. So a little sneak peek at that. So anyways, let's jump into it. So starting right off, we are going to explore Springfield, Missouri. Now, I am out here at one of the truck dealerships. We have a shop right around here somewhere. Oh, right over there. That is one of the garages you can actually own in the game. So this is Springfield, Missouri. So first impressions are actually pretty good. As you can see, there's a little truck driving school over here, or like an autocross racetrack, whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty cool. There is a big truck driving school in Springfield, Missouri. Now, one of the popular things for Missouri, what Missouri is known for, is right here. It is called the Springfield Underground. So let's get over there to that. And I'm going to put that map up just for context so I know exactly where I'm going. Coming over here to the Springfield Underground, one thing I will say is they got this area spot on. This is exactly what it looks like when you drive down the road from the highway. You come down in here. There's a little retention pond over there, and then there is Springfield Underground. For those of you that don't know, it is an underground storage that's all built in a cave, and we're going to go in there and I'm going to deep dive in that and explore that a little bit. First of all, they got this whole area here absolutely spot on. I mean, there's a huge truck yard up there right on the top of the hill, just like that, and then there's some warehouses and stuff. But the big thing here is the Springfield Underground, the cave system. For those of you that don't know, like I said, it's a huge cave system that's full of, different companies, all climate controlled warehouses and everything. It's absolutely amazing. I actually found this place on complete accident. I didn't know you were allowed to go in here. I'm not sure if you actually were allowed to go in here without clearance. I have personally drove my own pickup truck down in here on complete accident in real life. And I will say they got this spot on. And of course, we'll drive around in here a little bit. They do have the echoes really good of the engine sound and the horn and everything else. It does echo throughout here, which they got really good. This was one of the things that, if you guys remember the video that I had posted on things I want in this DLC, and they got it absolutely to a T. This is exactly what it looks like. And I will admit, it is very easy to get lost down in here. And the couple of times that I've already drove in here, there's a train, gotta watch for that. A couple of times that I have drove in here, it has actually gotten me lost. So it's pretty funny. But this was one thing I was very excited for, and they got it to a T. All right, so coming back out now, there's a train. The train comes out of there and actually goes and delivers stuff. That's pretty cool. So again, Springfield Underground. Now, one thing that I wish they could have made, but I know obviously for licensing and things like that, there is a huge Buc-ee's in Springfield, Missouri, and that would be cool to actually see. And it's not far from the Springfield Underground. This being the main highway here, it would be somewhere right off of this highway. Now, one thing that is also cool is they did get the road systems right. So 44 is the main highway that runs you from Joplin all the way up to Springfield and all the way up to St. Louis as well, which we'll go up there here in a minute. But they do have 65, which takes you down to Branson, Missouri. Now, that is one huge thing. We are going to drive down here and just see if maybe it is here and they didn't include it. But I feel like that is one thing they missed in this DLC is Branson, Missouri. It's a small city, but it's a big, small city. Most people from all around the way go vacationing here because it's such a tourist area. And if you guys remember in my previous video, when we explored over here before the DLC was released and we came to like Arkansas and Tulsa, Oklahoma, and kind of dipped over the state line, I do remember seeing what looked like Branson. So I was excited to have it, but it looks like it's actually not included in the game, which is to be expected. It is a smaller city, but I still feel like that's a big enough city. They should have included right off of 65 here. Now, they do have Joplin. We're going to explore that. Joplin is a really big industrial area. Several different companies out here in Joplin, several different soda bottling companies. There's actually Pillsbury is actually out here. And then the truck shop mafia or the chrome shop mafia is actually out here too. So that'd be cool if maybe there was a mod that incorporates that. It's a really big truck stop, and there's actually a like a custom shop out there where you can customize your truck. I'll see if I can include pictures of it. And that's actually in Joplin, Missouri. Now, we will be going out here to the boot hill to see what that looks like. But first, I want to go down 65 here. I want to see if they did incorporate anything that looks like Branson, Missouri. So let's find 65, which should be this road right here. Now, it was easy to get turned around, so I set a GPS there. I was actually on 44 heading to St. Louis. So far, Springfield, Missouri, they did get the vibe of it. Now, Springfield, I consider the small, big city. There's not major skyscrapers or anything like that, but it is a bigger city in the area. And there is a few large towers, but obviously they didn't quite get them in the game. But this one right here, one thing I wanted to point out, this area right here, if you were from the Springfield, Missouri area, this building right here, I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the hospital, which it is right off the highway, so it does appear to be. There is two major hospital systems in Missouri area, and that kind of looks like it's supposed to be one of them. But if you're from Springfield, Missouri, then you are aware that there is a tower there, and I wonder if that is supposed to be it. Of course, I'm gonna have to drop my truck down so everything renders in better. Okay, so we are coming down here to the area where Branson is. Here it is. This looks like it's supposed to be Branson, so I'm gonna drop my truck down. They didn't include it on the map. I'm gonna drop my truck down and get things to render in a little bit better. But there's the water tower. Yep, here it is. So this is the area I said I think is supposed to be Branson. It's not actually included on the map at all, but everybody knows this bridge. If you've been down near Branson going over to like the Arkansas area, that is real. This looks just right. You know, here's the rock, like the rock edges go on the side of the highway. And then it goes off here, and there's the water tower. Everyone knows when you go to Branson, you see the water tower. So let's drop my truck here so I can get things to render in a little bit better. And there's actually traffic there, so it does look like this is a real road that you are supposed to be on. This is giving Branson vibes. There we go. Now things have kind of rendered in a little bit better. But what I'm really looking for is like Table Rock Lake, as well as like the downtown area of Branson. Still would have been cool to see if they actually included it on the map. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'm actually supposed to go here because it just cuts off. So it's kind of cool that they put this in here, but still bummed out that they didn't fully get it. Now, it does have the Branson vibe with like the trees and the mountains and everything. Yeah, you're not supposed to go too much further down here. So that kind of bums me out a little bit, but let's explore just a little bit more. Yes, here we go. So just on the other side of the bridge, I believe this is supposed to be Table Rock Lake is what it looks like. If you're from that area, again, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But there should be a Branson downtown area down here. I've spent a lot of time on this water, whether it's on a boat or fishing or what have you. So they got this area right. This actually looks really, really good. It's just kind of a bummer that they didn't include it on the map as an actual city. And then I know if you go any further, don't worry, it's going to render in here in a minute and I'm going to drop my truck. Now this is technically getting into the Arkansas area. So we want to get back up here. Needed to get things rendered back in. Let's just explore a little bit more. I was really hoping they'd have like Branson downtown where they've got everything, but it looks like they don't. Yep, but here's all the mountains and everything. Now, one thing that'd be cool, a nice little Easter egg, if you're coming from the Springfield area going down to Branson, down 65 here, which is what this road is right here, there's actually a castle up on the mountain up here, just outside of Springfield, between Branson and Springfield. And it would be really cool. Now, they got this. There actually is a cross between Branson and Springfield, a really big one. That's how you know you're heading down towards Branson. If I remember right, I think it even says Branson on it. I can't quite remember. It's been about a year since I've been there. But there's actually a castle sitting up on the mountain here. And I forget what it's called. It's something Manor. And then this would be Springfield again. I'll see if I can put pictures up of the castle on it. But it should be located right around here somewhere. That would have been really cool. A nice little Easter egg or a nice little feature that they put in. Now, one thing that's cool while I'm exploring, they do have Highland Springs on here, which is another small little city right outside of Springfield. They did include that, sort of anyways. So I'm not seeing any kind of castle or whatever. So that would have been a nice little Easter egg that they could have put in, but they didn't. Comment below if you guys know exactly what castle I'm talking about. It's something Manor. I can't remember exactly what it's called. So a little bit of a bummer. Those are two things I wish that they included. So let's go out to the boot hill of Missouri and see if they got that right. If you go down 60, which is real, there is some windy and twisty roads, but it doesn't quite appear as though they did it. Maybe that little curve is supposed to be it, but that's okay. Again, this is a scaled model. Out here to the popular bluff, Cape Girardeau, Maldred area, New Maldred area, is right out here in the boot hill. So we're going to drive out here and see. I'm going to put a little check mark just so I know where I'm going when I'm free cam. And let's see if they got it. So far, as you're driving out, it's really farm area, rural area. And I got to say, this does look right. This is exactly right. Everything's kind of wide open. You can see for days. It did appear to get this road just right. Then the closer you get, the more farm area it should be. And here we go. Here is like the first area. This does appear to be right. I don't quite see a farm yet. See some construction area and everything else. There should be a lot of farms out here. And there's also some big John Deere dealerships. So here's some farms. Here we go. So we do have a couple of farms out here. So they did get this right, because this is exactly what that whole area is. It's kind of rural country, farmland, poultry farm or a chicken farm or something right there, crossing over the river. I think it's the Mississippi River, I believe, or maybe I'm not that far over yet. But let's go ahead and get out here. So here we go. Now we are entering our first like little city area. Okay, so hitting our first area. So this does look right. Here's some huge farms out there. And there's really good soil out here near this area in the Boot Hill, Missouri. So there's a lot of like crop farms. Whereas like the Springfield area, there's a lot more cattle farms out there, or beef farms. So here's a huge one, it looks like. So good, they did get this right. So the whole New Madrid area, the whole Boot Hill, Missouri area, does appear to look pretty accurate. I mean, there's not really a whole lot out there other than just farmland. So I'm happy to see that. I'm excited. We're going to be doing all kinds of hauling out here, whether it's tractors and equipment and stuff. But now one thing, let's go to our major city. Oh, they do have an airport out here too, so that's cool. They did include the little airport, but they didn't, I don't remember seeing the Springfield airport, the Springfield Branson airport. We'll have to go back and see if we can look for that. But now let's go up to St. Louis, and this will be Cape Girardeau, which does look just right. There is some warehouse areas and things like that, a huge bridge which crosses you over into the next state. They got that right. I've actually personally been across that bridge several times in real life. But again, let's get up to St. Louis and see how well they did that. You guys know I'm looking for a few specific things up here in St. Louis, but one is what St. Louis is known for, the gateway to the south, which is the giant arch, which I know they've already teased that it is in the game, but let's see what it looks like off of the highway and see how well they got it. I am going to be very picky and very hard on this map. Okay, so off in the distance, that is St. Louis. And I do see the arch from here. So let's drop the truck, get it to render in, and let's drive into the city. All right, so driving into St. Louis, I don't think I have the realistic traffic mod on currently. But driving into St. Louis, I have to say, so far they did get the feel of St. Louis right. You can see the huge city skyline off in the distance there. The traffic, what I was saying about traffic, the traffic in real life is way worse than this. But again, I know it's a game, but I don't have the realistic driving or the realistic traffic mod on. So far, I gotta say the skyline looks just right off this highway. Now, after we make this little right curve, you should see the arch in the distance. Let's see if they got that right. And this is the road you take to Illinois, which I have been over. There's the arch. I see the arch just off in the distance over there. So they did get that right. And you should be able to drive right by the arch off the highway. I've got to say they did a great job with the skyline of St. Louis. This looks to a T exactly right. And then that is the bridge that gets you over to Illinois, and eventually we'll be taking that route. But I've done this road, this exact trip several times. I've done this road several times, and there it is. You're gonna drive right by the arch. Oh yeah, it won't let you go that way because it's obviously closed off. So we're gonna stop the truck right here, and let's go further explore, and let's get a closer look at the arch, shall we? Okay, so looking further, they did get the arch right. Now, the last time I was there, they were building a little museum underneath in a little park, which does appear as though they have it in the game. And I've personally been here several times, and I've actually personally been up to the top of the arch. You can actually go up there. I wonder if they included the window on it. No, small little detail, but that'd have been cool. But I have been here several times, and I've got to say, they did get the skyline just right. I mean, that looks like St. Louis to a T. Oh, yeah, and check it out. There's the ball field, too. I've been to a Metallica concert here and saw Volbeat there in real life, so they got this right. I've got to say, I'm very impressed with St. Louis. I am excited for them to release Illinois now, because I have been over here. Technically, that's Illinois already. Looks like there's already part of it rendered in the game. So that's cool. We're going to have to do some further exploring on Illinois and see if they got it right. I have to comment, if you live in Illinois, I am so sorry, but those roads, those are some of the worst roads. It was actually in real life when I had moved here. It was like right around here that absolutely rocked me in that box truck when I was moving across country to North Carolina. But we're going to further explore Illinois here in the future in an upcoming video. So far, I have to say St. Louis is just right. I mean, this looks to a T exactly like St. Louis. I mean, you got the power plant there, got the river runs through here, the bridges look just right, the arch looks good. I have to say I'm very impressed with the St. Louis area. Now, there is another city that I want to see. It's not in the game, at least not on paper anyways, but right about here somewhere, there is a city, you guys are going to laugh, but it is called Uranus. Yes, Uranus. Uranus, Missouri. It's just outside of Springfield, between Springfield and St. Louis. I might be a little off. I know you got Rolla there. It might be actually up in this area heading that way towards Jeff City. I don't think so. I think it's right off of 44 if I remember right. So we're going to explore this area here and just see if they did include it at all. It's pretty much just a tourist attraction. It's called, obviously it's called Uranus, and there's a fudge factory in it. There's all kinds of stuff. Small little like city that's just a tourist attraction, but it's pretty cool. They actually have some pretty good fudge in there. And there's some provocative shirts in there, as you can imagine. They definitely play off of the name of the city. But let's see. Here's Rolla now. So right around here somewhere, we should be seeing a little city. So that looks like Springfield off in the distance. And again, everything's going to render in. I am going to drop my truck down. So this, I believe, yep. So this is Springfield here. So it's right outside of Springfield. It should be right around here, literally right off the highway. And there's a big sign that'll say welcome to Uranus, and there's all kinds of other, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it. So I might drop my truck down, get everything to render in a little bit more. Hey, that's cool. They have the Missouri Caverns, see the hidden world. That's down in Missouri, or that's down in Branson, Missouri. So that's cool. They have actual road signs in the game that actually advertise stuff. So that's pretty cool. But right about here is where I would say Uranus is, but this appears to be Rolla now. I'm going to drop my truck down and just see, because this is too big of a city, so this must be Rolla. Yeah, I've gone a little too far off the beaten path here. Okay, and last but not least, we need to explore Kansas City, which is home to the Chiefs football team and everything. You'll have to comment below what football team you're a fan of. But this is heading out that way, and let's take a look and see what they got. All right, so here it is, the wonderful city of Kansas City. I gotta say again, they did a great job with the skyline. The skyline does appear to be just right. Kansas City's a pretty big city, just like St. Louis. Now, I've only been to Kansas City a few times. There was a big car show up here. So far the skyline looks really, really good. Now, I am looking for the Chiefs Stadium. Let's see if they got that here. I don't see anything yet. Perhaps I've already passed it. Kind of a bummer if they don't put that in the game. Oh, maybe is that it right there? They do have the venue there. Looks like they got all the industrial area of Kansas City, which there's a huge industrial area. And just so you guys know, we will be exploring this more in depth, and we're going to be hauling from it. It's part of my series I've started, which you guys are going to be seeing in one of my next videos. We are doing like a zero to hero, or a, rags to riches, basically a company startup where we're going to start up with absolutely nothing, driving for other companies, working our way up to owning our own company. So I'm excited for that. And we will be obviously putting our home base in Springfield, Missouri whenever we get up to that point. So we're going to be further exploring this. They got the industrial area down to a T. They have the city skyline down really, really well. I'm very excited about that. So far, I don't see the Chiefs Stadium, unless that was supposed to be it over there, but I don't believe so. So a little bit of a bummer that they didn't include that. However, still just fine. I'm not going to hold it against them. Still just another small detail, but that's literally what Kansas City is. One of the things it's known for is the Chiefs, obviously. So overall, I think they did a pretty good job with the Missouri DLC. There's a few things I wish they would have incorporated. Branson is definitely the big bummer I wish they had, and it would have been kind of funny to have a little Easter egg of Uranus in the game too. I feel like those are two really big known areas for the Missouri area, as well as the Chiefs Stadium in Kansas City. So comment below, let me know where you guys are from. If you're from Missouri, let me know where you're from, and let me know what you think of this DLC. Overall, I think it's a really good DLC. I think they did a great job with it. Again, just a few things. I know it's a game, but a few things that I wish they incorporated. So I am very excited to actually be playing this game a little bit more and be hauling out here in the area and hauling all over. I've got a lot of content coming back for you guys, so let me know. But overall, I'm very excited for everything. So as always, guys, thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.